Now let's go back to the story that's been dominating this week's headlines. And if you're worried about all this secret snooping by governments into your private communications, imagine a state of total privacy, a life without any electronic trace. And that means no emails, no phone, no bank account. In other words, you don't officially exist. Our science reporter Asha Tanna has been speaking to one man who says he's a former agent, now in hiding. And it's a pretty extreme way of life.
In an age where we rely heavily on technology and our every move is traceable through mobile phones, computers and credit cards, is it possible to live under the electronic radar? This man has done just that for the last decade. He claims to be a former soldier who infiltrated the IRA. He now lives a life that is known as off-grid, protecting his identity.
If you're talking about hiding from members of the public or maybe terrorists that don't have the facilities of a government, it can be tough enough. You don't socialise, you don't use credit cards. You have to practice your security, don't use Facebook, don't use your own name. You'd have to have a bogus ID that would stand up to a lot of scrutiny. One of the first things you do is, well, say a mobile telephone, you don't get a contract, you buy a pay-as-you-go throwaway SIM. Credit cards, you don't have them. Everyone uses cash, it's untraceable.
Our online footprint can reveal a huge amount of data about us, but online anonymity now appears to be possible through free software.
My first connection is going to the United States and then back to Germany. The next one goes then to France and Hungary, to Germany, to the UK, to Sweden.
Programs like Tor conceals a user's location and identity through layers of encryption coding.
It bounces your network data around multiple computers before popping out somewhere in the world. You don't know where that's going to be, and if people were trying to trace you back, they wouldn't be able to assess where it was that you originally were when you wanted that piece of information.
Kevin's identity is a matter of life or death. Remaining under the radar, he says, is a full-time job.
I can't see myself really anyone would want to live off grid unless they had to, unless it was a threat to their life. But I mean, you can do it. Is it tough? You've got to live it 24 hours a day, because if you don't, then there's no point in it.
As technology advances, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to avoid Big Brother. Unless you're willing to go to serious lengths to avoid being traced, living off-grid is best left to those who really do have a reason to hide.
Asha Tanna reporting. Before we go, we'd like to clarify details in a report broadcast last night on the new disability benefit called PIP, the Personal Independence